Hello and welcome to the CCL Week 4 Day 1. I am Rome DMV, and joining me on the desk today is the one, the only Cash. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to get into these matches tonight, and like you said, excited to be on the desk with you.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good one. Not only is it just us up here, we also got Pay on production, so shout out to the production team as well. They put in a lot of work. But we've got some awesome matches for you guys tonight, okay? This night, if you guys don't know, this is the night to tune into the CCL. This is where, it's the middle of the season. Teams really start to understand where they're going to be in that group that they find themselves in. And hey, now we find ourselves looking at two squads that find themselves at 5-1. This is going to be a good one.
Definitely is, like you said, middle of the season. This is the point where you really start to create separation between yourself. Try to make the best case for yourself that you can for that top 3 spot to get out of this pool play here. So definitely the best time to tune in, because this is where teams kind of find the make or break point in their season.
Yeah, exactly. So, tonight we're going to be able to watch two squads go at it. The home team, the Miami Redhawks, going up against Bowling Green State University, the Falcons, if you will. It is going to be a good match. As I said, both of these squads 5-1 coming into this one. And hey, if we just go ahead and look at the head-to-head between these two squads, it's going to tell a whole story, if you will. So as you guys can see, looking at the stats, you look at the hard point numbers coming out of the side of Bowling Green. They are 11-3 in hardpoint, and anytime that you're having that much positivity in one specific mode, you're going to find a lot of success.
You definitely are, and seeing as you see hardpoint twice in a series, that's something you can rely on as that backbone, that grounding series where you find yourself maybe in a game 4 in an unfavorable situation. Knowing you're going to a hardpoint where you sit 11-3, regardless of what map it is, you're going to feel good going into it, and that you can take over a series.
Yeah, and the other side, if you guys look on the side of Miami, they are currently 4-0 in Search and Destroy. So, whenever you're coming into a situation and you haven't even dropped a map in a mode, you definitely want that to be your backbone. So what I'm looking for with these squads is really to focus on what mode you are good at. If I'm the side of Bowling Green, I want to focus on winning my hard points. If I'm this other side, I want to focus on winning my Search and Destroys. It's just as simple as that. And that's why I think that control in the middle might be very, very interesting.
I know control always comes in as that swing mode, and I think you can find no better tale of that in a series like this, where Bowling Green is really dominant in their hard points, Miami's really dominant in their search and destroy. This third game mode is very well going to play that role for us here tonight as far as swing mode, and really hint us at who could take the series.
Oh, big time, big time. This one is really going to decide with these squads as well who is going to be able to secure pretty much that top 3 seed. If either one of these teams win out from this point on, they'll essentially be a top 3 seed confirmed. So we all know that you have to be top 3 in order to get out of those pools. So this match right here could be literally one of these squad seasons on the line.
It definitely could be. Looking at who kind of leads this pool, it's going to be Akron Zips and Buckeye Cod, who are sitting undefeated right now. And with these two being tied, I guess what would technically be for second, playing for that second and third spot, like you had mentioned, this is really going to nearly solidify you in that top spot to get out of here. So regardless of how this goes tonight, one team's going to lose, one team's going to win, and that team is going to nearly lock their spot for that top 3. So like you said, there could be more on the line in this midseason battle.
Yeah, and if we go ahead and look at the home roster in the Redhawks, man, they are going to be coming in hot. They are composed of Rando, Brewski, Q-Pen, and Panda. A lot of players that, have showed a lot of promise here early on. And as I stated, this squad being search and destroy heavy, I'm sure that they like to play methodical, that they're big brain players, if you will, because, search and destroy, especially in Vanguard, you got to be a big brain player.
You definitely do, and what stands out to me for the squad is Q-Pan's kind of led the way in general and overall for the team here, but if Q-Pan's having a slow night, the other 3 players have shown that they can step up, they can fill the roles needed in order to secure themselves a series. So with Q-Pan playing the way he does, and if he comes out and plays hard tonight, Miami should look very good in the series.
And I'm expecting very good things out of Miami tonight. They've looked very good on the entire season. Let's go ahead and hop over to the away squad, the Bowling Green State University Falcons. This one is going to be good. They are comprised of Evade, Solar, Apollo, and Hayes. A lot of times when we're here on the CCL, we get, some names that are pretty hard to pronounce. But these 8, pretty straightforward, and I can appreciate that from them.
They definitely keep it simple for us, and about as simple, and the shining star on this team is going to be Solar, the most consistent player thus far for them between all of the modes. So especially in respawns is where Solar has that takeover capability. But kind of the same thing with Miami. Both of these teams being evenly matched, sitting at 5-1. All players have had a pop-off series on the side of Bowling Green. They've all had takeover modes, whether it be for a set of respawns or an entire series between the S&Ds and controls. They've all shown that they can flash and do what they need to, but they definitely are led by that player in Solar.
For sure. Well, hey, I'm going to be looking to see who's going to be able to come out on top for their squad, really show that MVP caliber play today because, hey, we're going to be kicking things off with Hardpoint on Tuscan. If we go ahead and look at the maps layout, the series layout, if you will, the first one is going to be Hardpoint Tuscan. And we all know this is a player favorite, man. The players absolutely love this map, love this mode. It's pretty much the bread and butter. You hop into scrims, it's definitely one of the first ones that you're going to be playing. And I think this is going to be a great way to see exactly where these teams are coming out today.
It will be, and we'll just get to see how dominant Bowling Green is looking to continue to be in their hard points. And here we'll look to see, again, like you said, on a player favorite, that bread and butter, everyone's done their reps on Tuscan. Have Miami shown improvements? Have they made strides? And they get to do it up against a really good team in Bowling Green. So if they can come out and play this respawn and this hard point competitively, that's going to be good signs for their series ahead.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, if I'm the side of Bowling Green, I'm looking at these hard points like they are all must wins. I do not want to play the Miami Redhawks in Search and Destroy. They are 4-0 in it. Anytime that a squad is undefeated in it, they are good at it for a reason. So you do not want to go there. You want to win out in your hard points that you're 11-3 at. You've been doing a great job of that. And then it all comes down to control. In my opinion, this whole series might come down to that control if each team wins out in their respective mode.
Absolutely, and it being on Tuscan as well. Just again, the map that everyone's had no shy of the adequate amount of reps on is definitely important. And I guess maybe something to note though, if you do happen to take this team to the distance in Search and Destroy, Bowling Green, they have won a Game 5 round 11 in Search and Destroy. So if it does go the distance, I think that's something to keep an eye on if they can extend this series out. If they don't happen to win, and if they happen to have a respawn taken off of them. They have seen that situation in a Game 5, so they should be comfortable, but like you said, you don't want this to go any further than the respawns.
Well, hey, if there's anything with the B stream and me that is synonymous, it is Game 5s. I don't know what it is. I'm getting all the Game 5s when I'm on B stream, and I'm absolutely loving it. So, hey, if it does go to that eventual round 11, I'm going to be looking for them to have the ice. You already said it. They've clutched up in that round 11 map 5 when it matters the most to keep them at that 5-1 record. So, hey, one round away from being 4-2. So as you said, you know, that one round could be deciding their entire fate today. But hey, who's going to be coming out victorious in this one? We just got to wait and find out. The Bowling Green Falcons should be winning this first map, a hard point. But I will say, whoever steals the other mode first, I truly feel is going to be able to win this series outright.
I think that's definitely a fair assessment. And looking at Miami, where they have those 3 hardpoint losses, that was in week 2. So, you know, they've only dropped 1 map since then, and we're now sitting at the mid-season point. So they've definitely made improvements. And again, this Bowling Green team is going to be the team you want to show that against. We know their S&D is good. Miami beat the pool leader in Akron 6-1 in Search and Destroy. So no question about that. If you can snag a respawn, like you said, whoever can take the other team's stronger and more dominant mode, I think takes the series, and I think that's definitely a fair assessment.
Oh, yeah, and this one's going to be coming in hot and heavy, ladies and gentlemen. The Falcons, they're going to be looking to run away with this one, the Respawn Dominant Squad. This is their bread and butter right here, and if we know anything about bread and butter, you do not want it to go moldy, so they need to make sure that this one is good to go. They lock this one up, go up 1-0 heading into that S&D, where they're 4-2, so it's not like they're sitting here terrible at Search and Destroy. They're just not undefeated like the side of the Redhawks.
Absolutely, they have promise, and they've shown that they can beat high caliber teams as well in Search and Destroy. So it's the same thing for either squad, right? It's not that Bowling Green's bad at Search and Destroy or Miami's bad at hard points. It's just that both teams excel so highly in those areas. So 2 really good teams pitted at each other with the perfect opposing strengths and weaknesses, and who's going to capitalize on each other's mistake first. That's what we're about to find out here tonight, Rome.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We get to see who exactly is coming out hot, who's got that gunny warmed up because, hey, we all know this first point is definitely a war. It's all about really getting that team coordination together, understanding, look, this is how we're going to push. We're good to go. All right, everything we practiced, we're actually applying in game because we all know sometimes, you can start playing the game and, immediately go back to those bad habits that you tried to get away from in practice.
Definitely, and Tuscan is a map where you constantly want to be improving and want to be locking down your rotations and things like that. So as much as this first point gets a little bit crazy, you already start to see on this bottom side of the map player 2 for Bowling Green working for this P2, and that's going to be a fight between player 6 and Rando for these spawns, and at least there's favorable positioning as the pinch is going to come in from the top side of the map right now. Player 2 and Apollo has his hands full here as the second hill is popped, but the wrapper on the back is in for Bowling Green, and we'll see if that's able to secure them spawns.
Yeah, Rando did a great job for sure, playing his life right there, just getting that trade with his squad, understanding they're pushing in from the back, and he is able to stop that push as he takes out Hayes coming in from the backside. So this is very good time coming in for the Redhawks right here as yet again he's able to take out Hayes 2 times within 10 seconds. That's incredible.
And the spawns did end up getting flipped back in favor of Miami. So Miami did a great job holding from the front there and then ended up getting favorable spawns as Bowling Green got too far pushed up. So just as we say that, Bowling Green are now holding it from the front and finally got those backside spawns secure. But with about 15 seconds left, we're going to see 2 Miami players on the rotation trying to lock down positioning for this P3. And now from the top side of the map, we're going to see Bowling Green players push, which generally you kind of see a roof side push coming in from this. But with 2 coming from the top, we'll see if they're expecting it.
Yeah, maybe they will be able to catch them off guard. It looks like Panda and company are ready for it. They are able to drop one. They smell the other one around the corner, and the kill feed is all red, ladies and gentlemen. This one is going the way of the Redhawks quickly. They have definitely secured this point, locked it down to the best of their ability. You see the position that Rando in is definitely an extremely hard one to break. Apollo going big, picking up one. Will he be able to get the second? If he does, this could be massive. And yes, that is going to be some kills coming in. They pick out the player in the back, and just like that, the Falcons, they've retaken this hill, but it is going to be the Redhawks coming in for this push with only 25 seconds remaining on the hill.
They get the break and they get in with a good amount of time left, but with that, Brewski was able to be on a 5 streak and secure a glide bomb, so it'd be interesting to see how Miami plays around that, knowing that he did just enough to be able to earn that kill streak for the team. And as they're looking to win this rotation once again, they still find themselves down 30 points, so they're going to need to find a substantial amount of time if they not only want to draw this one even, but start to swing it in favor of a lead. They've got to hold Bowling Green off, and that starts now as these players are advancing through church.
Yeah, Bowling Green, they've done a very good job of breaking these hills. Miami, they had pretty much a perfect hold on that P3. And, the Falcons walked in and said, you know what, we're taking this one into our own hands immediately. We're able to get a clean team wipe. And as you said, reset the boards and then get all that scrap time. And they were good to go. So now we're coming into church. We got to see exactly who's going to be taking control as Apollo. He's going to be feeling very, very good. Bottom church right now is they got a team wipe, 30-point advantage. They got to clean out these players as they're coming in. They're able to pick off 3 in the feed. Last one that is going to be up is going to be Panda. He's going to be dropping every single player dropping on the side of the Redhawks. The Falcons are locking down the church.
They're locking it down and not having to worry about making that rotation. They're breaking in with 40 seconds left, and by then Miami, they just aren't able to string together enough players and enough coordination to get another solid break and break it back. They do have enough time to do so, but once again, we see them take this early rotation. They win the transitional gunfights that they need. Now, can they hold off this first wave and start to get time? Because what was a 30-point lead still grew from that church hold to now a 50-point lead.
And now it's going to be this ever-contested P5. We all know this one is a war, ladies and gentlemen. 10 and 9 is Solar flying into the point, trying to lock this one down for his squad and extend this lead for the Falcons. About 20 seconds into this hill, some good time coming in for the Falcons already, but now the break from the Redhawks is going to start to be thwarted by Apollo as he is lining up that automaton, and they are walking into it with ease. Evade coming in, picking up 2, and that could be massive for his squad. Unfortunately, he gets taken out by a massive nade coming in for the Redhawks to answer right on back. This is going back and forth. We know it's a war, and that's exactly what we got right there. As it looks like there is going to be one player in Solar fighting for this scrap time as we head it back over to P1.
Yeah, just to make that transition more difficult for these Redhawks players. But now we see Bowling Green on this right side of the map spawn. Of course, for P1 that doesn't do too much, the left side being more favorable, and the right side is what you're looking for as we rotate over to that P2. But with the lead that they have, they're just going to try to coordinate together, get all 4 players on the same page, and try to make a clean break. They've been having their way on the map, moving however they need to, getting the breaks that they need, the 4-down situations, and able to break these points open. But now we see Miami starting to close in. They had a decent P5 hold, getting the break and being able to hold the time. Now can they string it together here? Can they get the rest of this time? And not only that, make the rotation, but at least start by drawing this game even.
All right, now Brewski sitting at 22-11, double positive for this Redhawks squad. He is definitely trying to do everything he can to bring them back into this one, and they are doing just that. They're only down by about 25 points, and that's about as where you want to be right now. This is definitely striking distance for the Redhawks. They just have to play these rotations perfectly. As you can see, it's going to be a war right now, and the Redhawks, they're going to be securing it. This new hill is all theirs. It's just going to be about how long they're able to hold it.
It is, and this is a huge gunfight between player 3 and player 7, and unfortunately that player in Panda is going to drop, so that granted Bowling Green entrance through that alley side. So now from this top right corner, Miami have to find themselves once again breaking in where they had won the rotation in the back spawns. Someone is able to just waltz their way in through the front of the hill, so they need to get clearance here and start getting time. And now with this lead once again extending back out to upwards of 40 points, like you said, you were in that prime position. You wanted to be close coming into this hill, especially in the late game. If you can keep it close, that's of course going to be better for you to be in striking distance to take this away. But you've got to keep Bowling Green off the point. You've got to get these last 20 seconds and play that P3 rotation.
And I feel like the Redhawks, they've done such a great job playing these early rotations. They've been getting to the hills, getting their setups, but every single time the Falcons have been able to break it and then get points right on back. And that might be what we see right here, as it's going to be 3 Falcons this time that are going to be set up on this P3, and now it's going to be up to the Redhawks to break it. This is a flip from what we saw in the last rotation to hills.
It is, and QPN's going to use that streak to open this hill up, knowing that a player had spawned out. Now they're going to push in, have one more player to hunt down, but Apollo's going to win a big gunfight in the back, force these players to have to direct their attention that way. So we're going to see the gunfight come in at the top of the hill from Bowling Green. Now these Redhawks players have to get turned around. No one on the hill. They've got to win these gunfights. They got to start getting time because they let the last bit of scrap time go on P2. They can't afford to let any more seconds go by.
We're getting in now, and breaking it is massive, and that's exactly what Brewski is going to be able to do. He takes out Apollo as well, but it looks like the Falcons, they're still flooding in, having numbers. They're spawning close enough, and that's a massive kill to shut it down. 15 seconds remaining. Only a couple more players from the Redhawks can challenge this point, but it doesn't matter. Those couple of players, they're going to be successful. They get all the scrap time, and now it's going to be rotations to church. 3 players already in there for the Falcons, but they get met to obliteration by QPan as he takes them all out in bottom church, and now it's going to be an all-out brawl.
These players now trying to work through this front side into church. They just have to clear so many corners and so many players out, and Bowling Green find themselves in a wonderful position and a wonderful hold as Apollo is going to pick up 2 there, sitting at 16-22, but getting the kills necessary to keep this team nearing ever closer to that 200-point mark. And Miami, the one thing they need to do to be able to close this map out is get a successful break and hold the remainder of the time. But that's one thing they just cannot respond to Bowling Green's aggression for. They're trying their hardest now. They get the clearance and are getting some time. But just like that, Bowling Green is not going to give it up easily. They're going to keep coming back for more.
Yeah, Miami, honestly, right now, their only issue is playing the point. They need to play the point better. They have more kills than the side of the Falcons. Like, straight up, they have more kills than them. Yeah. At that point, you should be playing the map better, using those kills to get better map control and things like that. And it just doesn't seem like they're doing that compared to the side of the Falcons. Yes, they've got a lot of scrap time here, but as you can see, those rotations of P5, they're going to be locked up by Apollo right now. So he's going to be challenged by Rando at this window. And man, it's going to be a war for this new hill. We know it can be so contested for so long. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of time that's going to be coming in for either squad right here. We're most likely going to a 3rd rotation.
I definitely foresee a 3rd rotation in the future. But for now, it's going to be Miami who do have this early control. They get the clearance that they need. They're slaying outside of the hill and trying to zone this off a little bit more where they can. And that's where they haven't found success thus far. They haven't been able to zone out, where Bowling Green are able to contest the time. Like you said, they're out slaying, but they're just unable to get any of that converted into hill time. And that's credit to Bowling Green applying constant pressure on the hill and just keeping Miami off. That's why they have a lead that we have now seen dwindle to a tie game. Miami have made the comeback. They've gotten the kills where they need to on the map. The gunny is finally warm, as we're going to see a clean feed for them. And like you said, this rotation is going to go over to this P1 once again, where either team can win it.
Oh, for sure. And hey, you saw that scrap time given up. I'm going to bring it back up. That was about 4 seconds of scrap time that player left to go rotate over to new, ended up getting taken out. So if this comes down to a 4-point game, I'm coming back to remind him of that. But this one's all tied up at 2-11, 2-10. This is going to be a good one as we are on with Q-Pan right now, trying to break into the hill for the side of the Redhawks. It looks like they are going to find some success spawning the players of the Falcons out for these last 40 seconds. This is the hold that the Redhawks are looking for, unless this squad in the Falcons can burst through the doors and make something happen. And it looks like that is going to be the case. A couple players do drop to a grenade. Friendly fire. Panda going big, though. Picking up 2, picking up 3. Panda doing it all. This is his zoo. Get out of his park. Even taking out teammates.
Going huge in the moment they need to. Miami, knowing how crucial this map 1 win would be for them, now closing in on 15 points from taking this one in Bowling Green, just throwing one-off lives at it. They've stopped playing collective pushes and just started throwing lives at it, knowing it's desperation time, knowing that if they have this P2 broken, if Miami can just get in for a little bit, they can win this one. So Bowling Green just need to settle down, go back to what's working for them. But based on how this kill feed's looking, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, it looks like the Bowling Green squad, they lost a little bit of composure there. And the Redhawks, they're able to come out and get this map 1 victory. Wow, shout out to Miami coming in on this one. They, we did say that they need to steal one of the hard points, and they just did it in map number 1. It happened already.
I cannot believe that Miami just came out, and what we had harped on them the entire map thus far was they just can't get over the hump of stringing together a point and holding off a break. And then from that P5 to P1, they do just that. They end up getting most of the time for that P5 and also making the rotation, like you said, Panda, Rando, going huge for the squad there just to hold those Bowling Green players off. Like you said, Bowling Green lost a little bit of composure there at the end, started just sending one-off players at a time in desperation towards the hill, and Miami, they just capitalized and went huge at the perfect time. And having a look at these stats, I mean, what stands out for me, Brewski, 37 and 23, 3,800 damage for the squad. Q-Pan close behind, actually leading in damage, but close behind in stats, and just a wonderful team game, balanced attack from the squad.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I wanted to see out of the Redhawks. They really turned that around. As I said, they were winning the slaying department by far, it seemed. They just weren't converting it into points. And the second that we brought it up, that was when they started to do just that. They got all the scrap time, getting the rotations, breaking hills the way that this team knows that they can. And now they have a decisive advantage heading into this one, because guess what? They just won a map that honestly the squad in the Falcons, they probably shouldn't have been losing this one. So, I mean, hey, shout out to the Redhawks for coming out hot the way they needed to.
This only sets them up well for the rest of the series. Like you said, you look ahead to this Berlin S&D, and Miami, if they weren't feeling comfortable, which they looked comfortable there at the end of that hard point, you know they're going into their bread and butter in search and destroy. You know they have all the confidence in the world. Again, it's just so important. I know these players know it. The importance of taking a map like that off of a team as dominant in respawns as Bowling Green. You know that sets you up so well for the series. The only thing is, can't let it get to them. We still have a long series ahead of us potentially. They just need to keep their foot on the gas, do what they do well, and that's dominate and search and destroy. Take it to the control and try to close things out. Like I said, we have a lot of series left still, of course, but I think things are looking most definitely in the right direction for this Miami team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, it's full steam ahead. And if you're the side of the Falcons, I mean, at this point, your season's on the line pretty much. You got to make it to top 3. And losing right here to the Redhawks, this one is not going to be sitting pretty for you when it comes to those final standings. This is definitely a match that you're going to look back on in the season and say, man, we wish we could have had that one back. So they're going to need to turn this one around and turn it around quick. And let's see if this Falcon squad can steal a search and destroy the same way that the Redhawks were able to steal a hard point away from them.
You know this matchup's coming up on your schedule, and so you're going to be looking for it, and perhaps they just are playing to each other's strengths and knowing how important this matchup is. Like you said, Bowling Green can come out and answer right away and take a search and destroy and shock us just the way Miami did there in that map 1. So still so early to call and so early to tell, but for Bowling Green, it was just a little bit of lapse in decisiveness and judgment there at the end. I know you talked about at different points in the game, scrap time being left up for grabs and things like that, and I agree. Based on what I saw, there was a lot of scrap time, tens of seconds at a time for some of these hills for the rotation, and that game came down to a matter of less than 30, 20, 30 points. It was such a close game that maybe that's something where, they know they're kicking themselves. They know, we shouldn't have let those go. We know we need to tighten up here. It's a team that's definitely not deflated. They know that it was just a simple lapse and that they need to bounce back for game 4 because they look to take it to that if they can. But again, definitely something, a stunner put on you early. You've got to rebound in the search and destroy.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm looking for with this squad. And, another thing that we spoke about is, with this squad, I mean, hey, when they're 5-1, anytime that you're 5-1, you understand how important every single match is from that point on. And that's why when I'm looking at this Redhawks squad, maybe they sat back this week and said, look, this match, maybe they circled it on their calendar, had a little special mark next to it and said, you know what, this is the one that we need to make sure we win. This is the one we're going to VOD review, do everything we need to do, because it seemed like they turned the tide there once that third rotation came in. It was all Redhawks from that point. So big props to them. They looked like they were practiced, looked like they really were able to adjust perfectly in the middle of the map, exactly how you want a top team to do. And hey, they did just that, came out victorious, and now let's see if they can hold true in the search and destroy on Berlin.
Definitely a match on the calendar that you want to be circling, and like you had mentioned, someone who is well repped and just knows what they need to do going into this, just those mid-game adjustments. That's what really starts to separate you if you're a team kind of floating. Not only, of course, they're not a middle impact team, right? They're tied for second and third, so these teams are at the top. But if you want to show why you deserve to be up in that conversation with Buckeye COD, up in that conversation with Akron Esports, it's going to be things like that. How well under pressure with the game on the line can you make those adjustments and find yourself successful? That's exactly what Miami has shown early. Now can Bowling Green respond here?
Yeah, and this is gonna be a fun one for sure. We know that this map, we all love those sniper plays that can happen over at the B Street, but at the end of the day, what I'm going to be looking for is execution coming out of these teams. I want to see if teams are going to be able to execute these B pushes well, execute their A strikes well. I say A strikes because honestly, it gets very hot and very heated very, very quickly. Absolutely. If you push into A. So a lot of times teams do just choose to head over to that B bomb site, plant it for their spawn, back up, and play the safe, slow, methodical game instead of the lightning fast pace game that is this room here that we find ourselves looking at.
Definitely. We're going to kick things off here. Bowling Green on an offense, opting for, like you said, that ace strike is what they're looking to do. They're going to send one person B, play for some info, but these doors are about to get kicked down, and even though Miami get the first blood, things are about to start getting crazy here.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be up to Apollo and company. It looks like they understand they can get the bomb down with relative ease, as Rambo's going to be picking up another one. That's going to be 2 dropping on the side of the Falcons. Solar is going to be able to answer back. So now this is a winnable situation for sure. Let's see what Rando's going to be able to do. I think he knows that this player is there. Yes, he's cooking the mess out of that grenade. Is going to get that hit marker. He's going to be calling this one out for his squad. And now they're going to be playing completely for him. Hopping in the window, taking out one, looking for the second. They understand exactly where he's at. Apollo picks up a big kill, but no, it's going to be Q-Pan coming in with the pistol, taking him out, getting the defuse, and the Redhawks going up 1-0.
I'm going to be looking at Solar to be, as far as the most consistent player, like we had highlighted earlier for the squad. Definitely going to need a standout series here today in the search and destroy if they want a chance to take it off of Miami. So, way to just try and play the life there, but that window hop worked out perfectly for Rando to get in there and kept Solar off guard. And now we see them take the first defense. And with something like Berlin, offenses, they can be tricky to play and be tricky to take as well. Usually the success is found whenever you can get that bomb down quickly, right? And we did see Bowling Green get the bomb down. Unfortunately, teammates were falling all around, so we're going to see another A hit come the way. See how Bowling Green opt to react on defense, and Solar's going to try to pop too early, but that's the first blood initiation that you need from Bowling Green.
Yeah, but it was going to be answered quickly by Brewski and Rando inside of A, so now they have the advantage. But as I say that, they're going to be dropping the bomb 2v2 situation now as the Falcons trying to lock this one up on defense. And you can see both Redhawks players, they're going to be making a little bit of a loop around, trying to get some intel, find out exactly where Evade is going to be playing. You can see Evade, he's playing right below on the other side. And hey, this is such an interesting spot because if you are Rando, what do? How do you play this pinch? And you can see both players on the defense are going to be rotating far away, not going to be seeing any type of action anytime soon.
It's Hayes' responsibility to make sure this bomb is down on this A site. No one's going to be able to pick it up without me getting eyes on it. And as I say that, Rando gonna do the swipe and take off, and looks like they're gonna be doing a B rotation. I like this out of Miami, just to know that these players have the bomb down here, are gonna be rotating back over to A, and now Bowling Green, you see the arrows spinning around. They've got to be figuring at this point, okay, with 10 seconds left, they're probably over at B. They're gonna opt for a 2v2 retake, and they're gonna play it split, which is very interesting.
Ooh, yes, and now the big question is Hayes going to be able to take out Q-Pan? That's already one player dropping. Now it's all up to Hayes, and he's going to be dipping into fire. But guess what? He's going to get chased out expeditiously. The Redhawks clutching up. They're going up 2-0. Defense, offense, doesn't matter. And now they're heading back onto that favored defensive side.
If you're Bowling Green and you want to find success against a team as good as Miami and search and destroy, you're definitely going to have to play together until you can figure out your groove and how you want to go. And with Miami and the confidence they have, just chase that player to get him killed. You trusted that your teammate on the other side of things was going to handle in their post-plant setup. And I didn't like how the players split there for Bowling Green, because once again, you just create separate 1v1s instead of being able to play each other's trade and give yourself a better chance. But Hayes with an 0-2 start, definitely slow, and want to see that pick up. And here on offense, they're going to have to get an answer. Going for a quick B hit, this is a good start.
Oh, most definitely. This is the best looking round that the Falcons have had so far. But as I say that, Q-Pan, he's going to get taken out, but not before another kill comes in with a grenade along the street. So still going to be two players that are going to be locking this B bomb site down for the Falcons inside of the site itself. Only one player, that's going to be Hayes, who is going to be the lone player left to roam. And so it's going to be a straight up 3v2. And these players inside of the site are going to be getting pinched by these Red Hawk players. And you can see already the kills are going to be coming in. That's both of those players dropping. Now you understand it's only one last player left. Can he kill him off the bomb? It's 7 seconds left. He kills him off the bomb. Did he get on it? We just got to wait and find out, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2.
I think they got it. I think he got the... Did he get the playoff?
Oh!
Yeah, oh my gosh.
He didn't get it. Wow. And that's going to be a big win coming in from the Falcons.
Bowling Green, though they won that round, and hats off to them for that, I think they put themselves in a much tougher situation than they needed to be.
Oh, for sure.
With that one player roaming and having two in the bomb site, that's such a risky play, especially with 3 Red Hawk players still up. All they have to do is collapse on that hut, and a couple of grenades, if they have them, put you in trouble. So to play that so close and to not have a post-plant setup where someone's sitting over in the room overlooking the bomb, definitely something that made that harder for Bowling Green than need be. But they won the round nonetheless, and hey, maybe they'll make that adjustment going through next time. But now we're going to see Q-Pan with the sniper, see if he gets any crossing intel.
Yeah, Q-Pan, he's got to get up this up on this roof a little bit quicker to see that cross. That's 2 times now that he's actually missed the players before they went. So maybe a little bit of misinformation. Maybe the reason that they're a little bit tentative to push this B site, because they might be thinking 2 players are over here because they didn't see the cross. But they're going to be pushing it out anyway. You can get... Oh, that's unfortunate for Evade. Challenged at the wrong time. Perfect play from Brewski to bait that one out. They're going to be dropping this bomb for their spawn. And the way that they're set up right now, this should be a secured victory for the Redhawks. Apollo is going to be picking up one big kill, though, to make it a 3v3.
Apollo does get a big kill there, but you see player 8 random make the adjustment. I like the rotations they're making in that post-plant setup to fill the spot that Q-Pan was at, just to have presence there and to make them have to clear it out again. They think the spot is empty because Apollo got killed, but just like that, these players fill in and take over where their teammates have fallen, and now Hayes left in a 1v3 situation, and with no information, Miami's going to take that round very handedly.
Yeah, extremely hard. But hey, shout out to Miami for coming out hot yet again on offense, able to win the big 1v1 over at B. You know, that's the difference between bomb down and map control for the defense, or just complete offensive control, having the bomb down for your spawn planted. So, I mean, honestly, it all came down to that big 1v1 right there. So, I mean, Redhawks, they're able to win the ones that matter in this search and destroy. This squad is looking to go up 2-0 in this series. They only need 3 more rounds to do it.
Miami's playing super decisive, whether it's on the offensive side or defensive. They know where they want to go and the spots they need to be in to find success. And all of these players looking at this A side, really, on top of just their ability to have composure and play well and search and destroy, they've been winning the first blood battle. I think this entire time, even if Bowling Green's able to get a first blood, it's been immediately traded by Miami. So once again, we see Miami with a life advantage here, and Brewski on a 5 streak here, roaming around, getting all of the kills necessary and getting a streak. This one's starting to get dangerous as Miami's winning in the dominant fashion they are. Apollo now left in a 1v3 and not much information to go off of.
Yeah, and if Apollo can find a way to shut down Brewski at 5, that would be massive. Stopping it at a glide bomb would be huge, but he is going to get taken out yet again. The Redhawks coming in hot, only 2 rounds away from securing this search and destroy victory. They are looking flawless in this search and destroy right now. And I mean, hey, they're undefeated on the year in search and destroy, so I can't sit here and say that I'm surprised.
Not surprised in the least, as they look comfortable on. I know this is the first step we've seen them in search and destroy, but you would hardly know it because they just feel fluid and look good. And them, again, having taken that respawn, just the importance of them being able to take a respawn off of Bowling Green, who was 11-3 and hardpoint coming in tonight. So critical for them, but you see the squad instantly start to make a 3-man rotation over to B side. They found success here last time. QPan's going to try to get in a position to play for information, but when I expect this first blood battle to go down, I expect it to go the way of Miami. Fortunately for Bowling Green, they are able to get a trade, but they know they have clearance here on this B side. I expect the plant will opt to see how Bowling Green look to take it.
And it seems like Hupan, he can figure out a little bit that somebody is going to be trying to hit a flank on him. Looks like he just missed this player number 3, though. So this could be massive. As you can see, we are on with Apollo, that player number 3 that was able to slip through the cracks of Hupan's sniper. Now it's going to be all up to him to make the play, but it's going to be Brewski picking up 2, and that's going to be him dropping in the mailroom. Apollo left in a 1v2 situation now. Andy has to defuse the bomb. This one is pretty much impossible unless he goes crazy right here. I'm not sure where the other player is. Why isn't shooting him in the back? There we go. Finally, he gets taken out. The Redhawks secure yet another round. This squad is looking terrifying right now.
When bomb was down, it was a 3v3 retake, and I was about to say, Bowling Green, honestly, this is probably one of the better positions they've been in this entire map. A 3v3 retake. Like we said, Apollo got through the back and got the timing on QPan to slip through. What I was going to follow that with was, now they just have to find the kills. They need to find the kills, and Brewski pops 2. They do not have an answer for this player right now, and that's where they're not unable to find success. You have an even life count in a retake situation. All you need is a pick to open things up, and that makes things scary for Miami. But when you have the slaying ability in this Miami squad that you do, there's really no situation you fear.
Yeah, but the one thing to fear for sure is a glide bomb, but you don't need to worry about it if you're all inside. But that's just information for Panda to come in and make the pinch. And the Miami Redhawks, they are swarming. They are flying in. They're flying south for the winter. They're about to send the Falcons south down 0-2 in the series. Unless Apollo can clutch up a 1v3 in miraculous fashion with the bomb down. He's able to pick off 1. Can he find the second? No! It's going to be Brewski shutting him down. A little bit of friendly fire coming into the end. They're feeling good. QPan and company, they are fine. They are going to defuse this one. 6-1, Redhawks find the win.
Few words that stand out to me just to describe that would be dominant, decisive, and Brewski. That's all I've got for that one, because he just could do no wrong on that map, able to secure streaks. Looking at the stats, at 11-4, Rando not too far behind at 9-4, and really just a couple of players on the side of Bowling Green sitting at 1 kill. That's, of course, never going to be a favorable situation that you want to find yourself in. But so far that we've seen, Miami have done what at least one squad needed to come in here and do. They took a mode off of the opposing team that they find the most success in, and then they continue to do well in what they already excel in, which is in search and destroy. And so going into control, like you closed that one out with, yeah, they're feeling good. They're feeling confident. Don't let the swing mode get in your head. Don't let it slip away from you. If you're going to do it, close this one out here.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we are going to Tuscan. So Tuscan Control, like we said, it's a map that they just won on Hardpoint. So, you know, it is a respawn on the same map. So maybe this squad in the Redhawks can feel very comfortable coming into this one. I think that's going to be a very good possibility, especially with Brewski feeling as hot as he was. You can see 1,200 damage coming in. The guy was an absolute menace. He's a problem on the map. Somebody's got to stop him. And hey, we'll see if this squad can do it right here in this control. If you look over at the Falcons right now, they're 1-1 in control, and on the other side, the Redhawks, they're 0-0. So we've yet to see how they can perform in that control, but I'm looking forward to it.
And once again, we find Bowling Green where what you would think is an advantage, right? They have control reps, and so you would think that that would play to their advantage and cater to them. I still would hedge and give them that bet that being as respawn dominant as they are, being how closely they lost that map 1, they still stand a chance being repped in game and control. But if Miami can come out, and again, they're slaying super hot. They've outslayed in both maps thus far. That's not a problem. If they can keep that coordination, that teamwork together, they stand a really good chance here in control, but the cards are still on the table for Bowling Green to answer, and with it going back to a respawn, with it going back to a control that you've played a couple of times here this season, you should still feel good to be able to do it. More so, I think the slaying morality and the morale of all of that for the team is kind of getting to him here.
Okay, well, fair enough. I like the assessment. So I got a question. Prediction-wise, do you think that this squad and the Falcons are going to be able to start to make a comeback here on Control, or do you think we got ourselves a 3-0?
Man, I would say right now, no one else. Example, looking at that search and destroy, right? Apollo, I think it was 9 and 7, just didn't have any help. I think the next closest player was Solar with 3 kills, and just not able to have any help. So no other players right now are stepping up on the side of Bowling Green, and that's making it for an uphill battle for the one player that is able to find any kind of footing. And for Miami, everyone's firing on all cylinders. I know specifically Brewski is having a night, of course, but with all 4 players playing as smoothly as they are, I think this one's going to go the way of 3-0. I think for Bowling Green, maybe the momentum got too much away from you, especially after losing a hard point in the fashion that they did. It just might be out of hands at this point.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, I like it. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't really knock you for saying it. I mean, the Redhawks, they're looking hot in modes that they really have no right looking hot in, like that hard point. So, I mean, hey, sky's the limit for this squad. As you said, I'm expecting this Redhawks squad to come in a hot, and hey, we said that their guns were already good to go. They're winning the gunfights that matter the most, and we know that in Control, it can come down to those lives remaining. So, I mean, I think that the Redhawks are looking pretty good to secure this one 3-0 as well. That is not leaving the Falcons out to dry, though. They definitely still have a shot in this series. They definitely have a chance to come back and make waves in this series and potentially get this reverse sweep under their belts. But whew, it is going to be a tall task because this Redhawks squad, they came to play today.
It definitely is, and like you had touched on with that Control, though Miami haven't played this season in Control with it, of course, still being a newly implemented mode. When it comes down to slaying, more so than the segment points where that switched for Vanguard, that definitely you have to be leaning the way of Miami for that because, again, I'm interested to see at the end of the night what the stat sheet looks like when this is all said and done. But for these first 2 maps we have thus far, slaying is very heavily favoring Miami and something where it can come down to spawn trapping and slaying out and getting those kills. Miami has to be feeling good for this one. Just if a couple players for Bowling Green can fight footing and get hot in here in this series, that definitely could be the turn for them. I know we still said this is a swing mode, and I'm not taking that off the table at all. This still could very well have such an influence and get the life back into Bowling Green that they need to be able to extend this to a Game 5, but it's going to have to be just that, a reverse sweep. And, like we've mentioned earlier, they found themselves in a Game 5 situation before, and they won. So knowing that, they have the confidence if they can push this a distance to close it out. But for you, what do you think it starts with for them in Control? I know we talked about the slaying for Miami. Bowling Green have really good objective play. What do you think it looks like for them to be able to pull off this Control?
I mean, they do. They do look really good. I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be all about that teamwork. But hey, we'll just have to wait and see exactly how they're going to be coming out in this Control. After this short break, we're getting all these players in the lobby, getting everything set up. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Get your popcorn. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the CCL Week 4 Day 1. I'm Rome DMV, joined alongside Cash, and we have a very interesting matchup so far on our hands.
We do. It's no lie. Miami is up 2-0 in the series against Bowling Green going into a respawn where they look to close things out, and Bowling Green have to answer back in a big way with a reverse sweep. And like we'd kind of shaped things up in the beginning, it's that mid-season, of course, still a lot of games left to be played, but this is a pivotal point as far as the standings go. They're playing for top 2 and 3 right now.
Yeah, exactly. This one is massive. So, hey, if we go ahead and look at how the series has played out so far, it is all red, aka Redhawks. They came out hot, 250 to 228, making a miraculous comeback in that Tuscan hardpoint, and then straight up domination in that Berlin search and destroy. So heading into this Tuscan, they have all the momentum, everything. We just got to see if they're going to be able to get control. Wink, wink.
Love the pun there. Exactly that.
3 out of 10.
From Miami. They definitely have to be able to get it done and close it out here because you give a team like Bowling Green life, someone who has been in the situation where they've pulled off a Game 5 win. You don't want that to be the case. Knowing how good they're on respawns, and those are your next two modes, they have to take it away here if they can. Of course, they don't have any in-season, game reps of Control, but they've been scrimming it. They've been doing their homework. And on a map like Tuscan, where they were able to bounce back and make mid-game adjustments in order to win that one, the same thing can be done in Control. Of course, they'd like to come out differently and not have to make those adjustments, make Bowling Green have to play to them. But how we saw that map 1 go, they look to be pretty comfortable here.
Oh, yeah, and we talked about practice and how well practice teams would be on Control specifically. I gotta be honest, there's 19 maps in the game or something crazy like that, and only 2 are played in Control. So when it comes down to Control, you really are going to be able to get in a whole lot of practice because you just flip-flop between Gavutu and Tuscan. So I'm expecting this squad to come in looking like they've played plenty of Control already, and that's exactly what they're going to be able to do, as they have already gotten third progression toward A.
One pick of progression here, 2 players pushing through this mid-map area just to keep these players pinned back and off of the point. Right now it's contested. Hayes just holding it down for the team until they get there, but it's everyone else from Miami slaying around it to let them get even more progress. 2 ticks of progression, a couple players on the point, and that's going to be the third here with now 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. They're making this rotation over through P5 and mid-map. We'll see if both players opt to take that route or if they can get the cutoff at Church and push there, but with a 2-life advantage, they need to get together, try to make this first hit at B.
Yeah, anytime that you are able to get A so quickly, whether it's on this map, Tuscan, or on Gavutu, you're going to be setting yourself up amazingly for this final point, because simply you have so much time to work with, so many different attempts to come at so many different angles to pick these players off, and it's really only got to work once in order to break through this defense. So, a whole minute 45 seconds remaining for the Falcons to be on the defensive end, but they've got to be able to win their big ones just like that in order to hold off this Redhawks squad, because they are coming in hot and aggressive as Cupan trying to turn the tides coming in. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to get snuffed out, but no, it doesn't matter. Cupan turning and burning, and that's a massive pick as the Redhawks starting to get control.
Apollo with a huge pinch opportunity picks off 1 and is looking to get the second, but Cupan on a 3 streak now, shutting these players down. They finally have the clearance that they need around a point. Now we're going to see players hop on it. Now they know these Bowling Green players have to push through mid-alley. They have to push through this backside, and if they can keep slaying and locking it down, they should be all right now with a 4-life advantage. Over 60 seconds to work with on the clock. They have control of Plat, and they're looking comfortable.
It's just the players of the Falcons, like Apollo, going to need to go massive, but no, Cupan, he is going insane right now. He's on a 5 streak. He's got a glide bomb in his back pocket now. They're up by 7 lives. This might be an offensive win coming in for the Redhawks early, as already it's going to be Brewski as well, picking up a 2-piece, and he's going to be getting a glide bomb as well. So they have 2 players with streaks. This is absolutely tragedy for the side of the Falcons to already give them streaks round 1. They have control round 1. It's an offensive round that they've already been able to get 1 tick of progression on. 40 seconds left. I mean, the Redhawks right now, they're in prime position to win this one.
They are, and something we talked about coming into this Control is how devastating and monumental the slaying factor can be on Control, where if you just get map presence, you can just spawn trap and slay out, and now they're going to close this one out here with 13 life advantage up against Bowling Green. So the points didn't even come into it. They did keep B control the whole time, and Bowling Green was never able to get a clean wipe to get them off of it, and perhaps that's what led to this landslide that we saw in the life department. But again, the slaying's been hot for Miami thus far. We knew if that trend continued into Control, that's something where slaying could play a major part and that they could close out the series. So they're going to take an offense early, and that's a good position for them to be in here.
As a massive position, I got to be honest, if I'm looking at the side of the Falcons, man, things could start to get a little bit worrisome for sure. I feel like they need to come out and win this offensive round right here, answer right on back, and they're going to be pulling out some trickery as they're going to be heading right over to B, and the side of the Redhawks, they're going to sniff that out. They said, awesome, we see nobody over here. Let's rotate back. Cupan's able to pick up 1. Now the question is, how many more are they going to be able to get before they get some regression here? 1 tick progression already on B. This is massive coming in for the Falcons as Evade's able to get 1, but the glide bomb is going to be coming out now, and I like the use of it by the Redhawks, saying get off of our point, at least for now, because you don't want this second tick of regression to go through. But the side of the Falcons, they're going to be able to do just that, and this doesn't happen a lot, where a team is able to push out B off the rip and actually make it work.
Bowling Green is still a fantastic respawn team, and why they are so good in those respawns is their decisiveness. The fact that they all committed to that B hit, ended up getting 2 ticks of progression, and now have the rotation and have won the gun battles over at A. They now have 2 ticks of progression going on at A, so they have made this round very easy for them. Guns are maybe starting to get a little bit warmer here, but as far as coordination goes, it's on point. So even if they aren't out slaying at the moment, tick progressions are in, and now they've got 2 minutes to get 1 tick of progression at B.
Yeah, and this is a perfect setup coming in for the Falcons. This is exactly the answer back that you needed out of this squad. I mean, honestly, that first round, it was so in favor of the Redhawks, able to get those streaks, able to get complete control, and the fact that the Falcons were able to answer back like this, I just got to be honest, it's props to them at the end of the day, because this Redhawks squad, they are tough for sure, and they're trying to keep you off of this B point, but it's going to be a minute and 45 seconds that the Falcons are going to have. And hey, I think as we saw in the last round, anytime you have that much time and this little amount of progression left to get, it's pretty much going to be the Falcons' game to lose.
It absolutely is. They're still going to have the opportunity to clear these players out and get a push. Right now, Solar, the furthest player, pushed up, waiting for reinforcements to come in. Player 7 and Apollo have a big gunfight to win as he's chasing someone coming out of church. Is going to win that. Though we have a pinstripe kill feed, it's going to be Bowling Green trying to get control in the back. Miami able to hold off this attack. They have a minute and 16 to hold. They're starting to close this life count. Bowling Green need to work composed and need to work together, get another good collective couple of hits, try to close this one out.
So we are on with Solar right now. The side of the Falcons, they have a 4-kill lead. Make that 3. As no evade is going to be getting the better. He's sitting at 10 and 15 right now for his squad. Unfortunately, Solar is the one positive for his team right now. Was on a little bit of a streak. He's going to get shut down, though. Let's see if Hayes can pick up something. He's able to pick up a 2-piece onto Panda and QPan. And they find themselves still with this 4-point advantage. I mean, hey, if you're the Falcons, you still got to get into this point. So shout out to the Hawks being able to hold them out so far. Only 30 seconds remaining.
They've got a decision to make. Player 8 here in the back has to get these players killed so that they can get on this point. Apollo's going to open things up from the front as well. That's going to grant 2 players the ability to get on this. But like you said, yeah, you have a 4-life advantage, but props to Miami. For 2 minutes, they've been able to hold Bowling Green off this, and now with no respawn remaining and 2 players left, they've got to get a squad wipe. Brewski's able to get 2, and that's going to hold him off. And as these players are starting to foot race for Bowling Green, what was in control, you're now starting to sweat.
These are the last 2 lives. These are the last 2 lives right now. Panda and Brewski, they have to hold off this entire push. This is the final push, ladies and gentlemen. They're on the point right now. You can see Panda coming in. No, he's going to get taken out. The Falcons win. It ended up coming down to the lives. If they would have played their lives just a little bit longer, Miami might have been able to come out victorious there. But we're going to see another offensive round 1, this time coming in from the Falcons.
They win the offensive round, and a big answer for him. Once again, it just gave me flashbacks of the round they won in Berlin Search and Destroy, where it looked like it was in their control, and they made things a little bit harder than they had to. They let Miami tighten up the slaying. They got squad wiped and weren't aware of how close that clock was getting to 0. So fortunately, they were able to heat up and slay out in that round, and the lives ended up becoming a factor. All they had to do was get those couple kills and call it a day. But both squads have won an offense to start here on Tuscan. I think that's crazy. I think maybe it'll come down to who takes the defense, but Miami opens things up as 4 down. Really quick progression at this A point, and it looks like they're going to have about 2 minutes to get over to B.
Yeah, they are going to get this literally as quickly as possible. So shout out to the Redhawks, man, making this offensive A look easy. But we know B is 80 times harder than that A side. So now, with the glide bomb in hand, they're going to be calling these players out, trying to make something land backside pillars. But no, nothing is going to be connecting for the Redhawks, unfortunately. So both of those streaks that they did have, they are going to not find a kill. Both of them, actually, only one of them were able to find a kill with that glide bomb. And now it's going to be the Redhawks pushing into the backside. QPan trying to go big. If he can take out Hayes, this could be massive, and he is able to. And now he's going to be trying to be a nuisance in the Falcon spawn. You can see Apollo, he's trying to sniff him out right now, but he doesn't understand QPan right on the other side of the truck. He might be getting the worst timing ever, but no, he's going to be taking out QPan, as this player in Apollo just went massive.
Big plays from Apollo to get 2 there to clear these players out of the back, and that's where QPan found his home on the offense. That's where Bowling Green have made an adjustment already. They were not able to get QPan off of Platt and out of this back alley, and now that they've done that, Still have over 60 seconds to make this hold and down a few lives, but hey, that's a good start. You just got to keep this control. Don't get too spread and don't get slayed. Be able to play each other's trades, and that's what we're seeing here. They're holding off Miami.
It was a nice pick coming in, but it is Redhawks having the kill advantage for now. Only 55 seconds remaining. I mean, the Falcons right now, they're set up pretty well. It is going to be Brewski, though, in the back, playing that sneaky beaver roll, and he's going to be able to pick off Apollo. Now, with these streaks coming in, that's going to be another one connecting. This time it was Rando. Ooh, but finally, player is going to get dropped. So now the Redhawks going to need to go crazy, but that's going to be Evade and company taking them out yet again. Another clean wipe. The Falcons are holding them off.
Beautiful 4-for-1 trade coming in from Bowling Green to hold them off, and even though we saw Brewski in the back trying to make something happen, they adjusted, they played it well, and did what they needed to regain control. Now with 20 seconds, Miami find themselves in a similar offensive situation where time's going to be a factor. Lives are tied, so can they get on the point? They don't have any ticks of progression. They've got to make something happen, and they can't afford to get wiped.
Right now is where they have to go big. Evade going massive, picking up two. Apollo and Solar picking up the last couple, and they're going to be spawning them way out. The Falcons, they're going to be picking up 2 rounds in a row now. First on offense, now on defense, and now they're going to be heading back over to that offensive side. Let's see if they can make it work.
Interested to see if they opt to do a B hit. Does Miami try to blind counter that? When you find success on that B point in Tuscan, especially on your first offense, these are the questions that you force the other team to have to ask. How do we want to play this? Because we saw how quickly they got B control, and then all they had to do was rotate over to A and get it just as easily with only 1 tick of progression left. Back at B, so now Miami has a decision to make. Do we force send one way? Do we do a 2-2 blind counter? It's in Bowling Green's favor right now as they're in control and they're looking to go A.
For sure, looks like the side of the Falcons coming in, trying to capture A early. But the Redhawks, they're not going to be giving this one up so easily. Apollo is going to be able to make his way into the mid. Looks like he's going to be hopping up top toward that B. But he is going to get taken out, though, by Q-Pan up top. Now the Redhawks trying to fend them off. They're doing a good job. No full tick of progression has came in yet. That's a big kill from Brewski. Onto Evade. Can he pick up a second? No. He is going to be dropping. So now the Falcons trying to regain control right here. But not if Panda has anything to say about it. He is trying to play his life as well as possible. Finally, he is going to get dropped, and this progression is going to start to come through for the Falcons.
Progression going to come through. Brewski gets a big kill mid-map, and now these players have to figure out where he's coming from. As the pinch is coming in, this is going to be a huge kill for Brewski to get. Unable to, the Q-Pan's going to get out on the other side, so you've invested all this time. They close at the perfect time to go 3-for-1, able to wipe this entire tick of progression. Now Bowling Green with 60 seconds left. Still don't have the A point. Have to try to divvy up resources over to B to pull some attention away from A, and they're also down in lives. So not as comfortably as your first offense went, but at least you have a round to throw away if need be. They're still going to try to close A out and make this rotation.
For sure, but that is going to be pretty difficult because the Redhawks, they've got a firm grasp right now on the map. As you can see, finally, that A point is going to be going the way of the Falcons. So now it's going to be all about breaking this hold of the Redhawks, but that's 3 dropping on the side of the Redhawks in the kill feed. So a little bit of pressure going to be coming in from the Falcons now. The question is, how are the Redhawks going to fend them off?
They look to be in a comfortable position here. Brewski sitting comfortably over at P5, trusting that his teammates and Rando, Q-Pan, and Panda can handle everything on the backside, and they look to be doing just that. This halfway point cutoff going well. Panda able to wipe the one off of Tank. Sitting on a 2 streak for the moment with Q-Pan, and they've held off this first wave. Now a minute and a half left. You got to think Bowling Green only have a few more goes at this, and with 10 lives, that could even become a factor a little bit quicker.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, on the side of the Redhawks, they're looking extremely good. They're up by 10 kills right now. Only 7 lives remaining. 3 respawns for the side of the Falcons. I mean, I'm going to be honest, this one's pretty much all said and done. They essentially just have to slay them out, keep on pressing the issue. When you're up by this many lives, just play your trades, play together, and you will be good to go if you just keep on pushing them out. As now only 1 respawn remaining for the Falcons is able to come through. As Q-Pan's able to pick up a big kill right there, making these their final 4.
Final four with only 2 on the point, so Miami's just going to go hunting. And now, left in a 2v12 situation, the slaying for Miami has been so dominant and so in control that this should, if they're able to sniff out these last 2 players and close out this round, grant them the defense. Their slaying is up by almost 10 kills over Bowling Green. So with that last player being found, Miami, they're going to bounce back, take the defensive round that they need to, and they should find themselves here on a round 5 defense. And again, favoring the slaying that they've been doing and how dominant the rounds that they've won have been. Just, again, I keep saying slaying, but really, that's what it's been for them this whole night, and that alone. They should be able to close this one out. Bowling Green have to go huge.
I mean, if you look at Cupan and Brewski, 34 and 20, then on the other side, 34 and 23. So, I mean, both of these guys are just absolutely going insane for their squads today when it comes to that slaying department. And, hey, we're getting a straight-up B push out of the Falcons this time. It ended up working out. Their one offensive round that they did win, they were able to push out B very, very effectively. End up making it work out in their favor, but that's going to be 3 down, dropping on the side of the Falcons. The Redhawks coming out strong with this push.
Even though the Redhawks were able to answer and wipe everyone over at B, Bowling Green played it smart, kept one player in player 6 evade over at that A site. So even though you get squad wiped, all of the Miami resources have to rotate back over from B, and because of that, you open things up and get 1 tick of progression at A. So doesn't quite go the way you want off the opening break, but hey, you do get progression early at A. Now they're playing this back and forth, this kind of like teeter-totter battle of trying to draw these Miami players back and forth to each point. They've just got to be able to capitalize and find success, and so far it's looking pretty all right for them.
Yeah, so far so good for sure. For the side of the Falcons, they're able to get 2 ticks of progression. Looks like the third one is going to be coming in shortly, and there it is. So 2 minutes remaining on the board, but they've got to get the entirety of B. And I mean, the way the Redhawks have been playing, and they're up by 4 kills, I mean, right now the Redhawks, they're in pretty good position to win this one simply because there's no progression that's come in yet on B.
There's not, and Bowling Green have to get all of this clearance in the back before they're able to even get on the point. Right now, Evade on a 3 streak, really just single-handedly about to get this first tick of progression. A player going to come and help out and all but secure that over here while he just goes around and tries to roam and slay. So they're going to get warm. 1 tick of progression already in, and Miami nowhere to be found. It's going to be 4 down in the feed, and if they can stack this point, Miami may not be able to get here.
For sure, as you said, only a couple more seconds, and there it is. Wow, the Falcons able to hold them off, winning the big offense when they needed it the most. Big stuff coming out of them. And hey, this might be the start of the reverse sweep as they are able to get their first win on the board.
Great adjustments from Bowling Green. I really liked how they played that back and forth battle. They only sent 1 player, but as far as Miami knows, it could be the whole squad, so they have to respect that. They have to give either side and either point the attention it deserves, and because of that, they kept Miami on their toes. They struck right when they needed to, going over to that B point, and with the 4 down clearance they got, I think definitely behind Evade. Of course, going 30 and 34, right? It didn't go positive, but just looking at the stat line overall, the damage dealt, everything top to bottom, made the big plays whenever he needed to, and just single-handedly clearing out that platform and back alley for the team made that B point that much easier. So Bowling Green went huge when they needed to. Like you said, this is the start of that reverse sweep. We really did put in the notes, right? We had said, win the control, win the series. And, well, Bowling Green did just that. So best chance they stand is right now.
Yeah, precisely. And, you know, now the big question is, can you come back and eventually steal that search and destroy? We know if it does go to that game 5, it is going to be in favor of the Redhawks. We saw how well they played search and destroy on Berlin, 6-1 fashion coming out of them for the victory. So, hey, listen, you got to win this one next. You've already come this far. If you are the side of the Falcons, you just got to win 1 more hard point. And hey, they're favored in the hard points. So if this matchup is at least going the way these teams have been playing, this one should be going the distance. I'm excited for it, but the way the Redhawks have been slaying out today, man, they've been surprising me. They just need to be able to play these rotations on this hill to their advantage, and I think they'll be all right.
Absolutely, and even more so just to push things maybe towards Miami a little bit more, it's Bacage, right? It's a small, very interaction-based and very interaction-heavy map.
Yeah.
Miami, they like to play in your face. They like to get up and get the kills required. And even if they were, like we saw in the first hard part, winning their rotations and stuff, it was a slang where they really took over. And on a map like Bacage, you're going to have players hitting those 35, 40, 50 kill marks where possible. And especially with how Brewski's been playing tonight, definitely something that's not out of the realm of possibility for this squad. And so Bowling Green, as much as you love respawns, you're going into a map where these players are hot. They're ready to go, and it's a very slay-heavy map apart from rotations and different things. You've got to be ready for Miami to be in your face. You've got to be ready to have an answer, to take a hit, and get some important time here. Also have your guns warm, which they looked to have there at the end of that control.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We're heading on to Bocage hardpoint. This one, whew, man, it is a war zone, to say the least, man. That's really all I got to say about this one. It is fun to watch. To play, it can definitely be hectic, but hey, listen, we are all for it right now. Map number 4, the Redhawks, they're trying to shut this one out. They weren't able to do it in the control, but now they're looking to do it here in 4-1 fashion, looking to upset this Falcons squad in this hard point. We know coming into this one, the Falcons were definitely the more favored squad in hard point, sitting at 11-3 coming into this matchup in that mode. So now, will the Falcons be able to answer back and win on a mode that they call home? Well, we're just going to have to find out.
Definitely going to need to bring this series back. Even just looking ahead at the head-to-head, right? With these squads being 5-1 as they are, you know that for that top 3 spot to get out of pool play, they're going to have this head-to-head matter. So if you're Bowling Green, you avoid it being a 3-0. You give yourself the chance to not only just make this map count closer, but possibly swing it in your favor. Once again, it has to be in that reverse sweep fashion. If anyone's up to the test, it's going to be Bowling Green. Back-to-back respawns they're looking to take. They've won a Game 5 in series prior, so they're poised and ready to do it. But Miami, knowing if they have to go the distance, knowing if it has to go to search and destroy, they feel very comfortable as well. But in between that, we have a Bacage hardpoint where the interactions are going to be fast and frequent. And I'm looking for someone like Brewski on the side of Miami to take over and even possibly see those 40, 50 kill games. And for Bowling Green, Apollo and Evade, they were really heating up there at the end of that control. I'm looking to see them go big for the squad.
Oh, precisely. I'm definitely having my eyes on Brewski right now. His guns were definitely hot in the last one, and he's going to be picking up the first kill of this hard point matchup. Whew, man, we got 2 amazing squads, both sitting at 5-1 in their pool, tied up, trying to vie for one of those top 3 spots. Unfortunately, Q-Pan is going to be dropping to the side of Apollo. You can see these kills are coming in. Nobody's able to get some real solid scrap time right now on this P1 simply because we know how heavily contested it can be.
Very heavily contested, so these players are going to have their eyes towards this P2 on the rotation. The spawn's there. Bowling Green going to walk away with a good bit of the time. Miami in position here to take the lead and possibly gather up the rest of the scrap time, but from the top side of the map, Bowling Green is going to be looking to rotate over, and without having eyes on it, perhaps Apollo has done that. If Apollo can get a couple of kills here, this could be huge and secure spawns for the team. Unfortunately, Brando is going to go big on the other side, and this is going to grant them early time, but because of these close spawns, Bowling Green are poised and ready for an early hit.
And it looks like they are going to be coming in hot. Hayes trying to take out a couple players, but no, he is going to get traded out. As you can see, it is going to be the Falcons now. Going to be getting a little bit of time here, but they're not going to have long to set up, as it is going to be the Redhawks flying in. They're picking out 3 already. Now the Redhawks, they flipped it toward their favor now, and the question is, will there be one more hit coming in from the Falcons for this bit of scrap time? And the question is yes, but that is going to be 3 players dropping. Make that 4 on the side of the Falcons. All this scrap time going to be heading toward the Redhawks.
With how hot the gunnies are of Miami and with how decisive and coordinated Bowling Green is as a respawn team, this map could very well come down to not only game clock, but just who can get a money hill the soonest, who can really get a hold that 60 seconds, and that puts distance in between these 2 squads. I think that'll be the tail of it because they're both fairly evenly matched. When you square things up, Bowling Green maybe trying to have that slight favorite as far as respawn repetitions go, but either squad unable to find any firm footing. Miami with a 30-point lead. different than how we saw map 1 go. They did have to fight from behind. Bowling Green now in that position, and with a hit coming in, it's about to be an all-out brawl.
As you can see, it's going to be Q-Pan sitting at 12-6, picking up the 2-piece. Uh-oh, Q-Pan shooting bodies. I got to be honest, I've probably seen people shoot bodies about 8 times so far in the CCL. It has not worked out once at the end of the series. So let's just go ahead and write that one down at the end of the day. You know, Q-Pan, let's not have that one come back to bite you. But hey, if Q-Pan, if you're feeling good after all the performances you've had in this previous maps, hey, all to you, brother. Go ahead and try to win this one. Try to take control, because guess what? It is coming down to the wire right here, but the Redhawks are coming out hot as they have a 50-point advantage heading to Barn.
We're at P4, and Bowling Green have only been able to get 27 seconds of time. So Miami, job well done as far as this first set of hills go. You've been able to hold off Bowling Green, even if you aren't getting insane amounts of time, right? They're only sitting at 87 points. You are able to hold Bowling Green off, and that is a win. That's where you find success against a team that's as good in respawns as Bowling Green is. And right now, Miami, the slaying, of course, unable to question that based on how the series has gone. But as far as rotations and setups go, they look to be in control and they look to be comfortable.
Oh, for sure. Right now, the Redhawks, I mean, pretty much looking like the complete squad, if you will. They are going to be heading over, rotating around. You can already tell player 2, Panda, 13-12. He's rotating around, trying to get these spawns locked up for this final hill. He wants control of this swamp area. He wants to just overlook it, make sure his squad is going to be spawning on this backside. Now he's going to go ahead and hop on this point, try to get a good amount of time. The Redhawks right now, they are playing great hard point, but they need to win the big ones that matter, and that's going to be the Falcons coming in, winning all the 1v1s, and they're going to be starting to get this time on their side.
Wonderful break coming in from Bowling Green, now closing this gap. It's going to be about a 50-point gap. They're looking to get great time here, and this is where they found success on that Tuscan. They got early breaks against Miami. Even if they were losing the rotation battle, they could get breaks with 40 seconds left in the hill and get most of that time. But where Miami has made the adjustment is they are able to now break back into hills that they lose. So they've been able to grow their lead out to a substantial margin here on Bacage, and they've kept Bowling Green off. So even though Bowling Green gets 4 down clearance, they're still applying constant pressure the moment they come off spawn and just not let Bowling Green comfortably get any time.
For sure. Right now, Bowling Green doing a nice job of starting to make this comeback happen. As you can see right now, we're going to be resetting, ladies and gentlemen, going back to this P1 in the middle of the map with a 40-point advantage heading to the Redhawks. So if you're a Redhawks fan, you're definitely feeling good right now about how they played this first rotation of hills for sure. Now it's going to be all up to Apollo and company to go up big, but no, more body shooting coming in from Q-Pan. Starting to feel like this one might be personal.
I know it's an intrastate battle between Miami and Bowling Green here in the state of Ohio, but yeah, maybe something a little bit deeper than that going on here. Q-Pan trying to have a statement game to close this series out against Bowling Green, and definitely having that. Still a 40-point lead. Bowling Green unable to get any substantial time because, again, the in-your-face play, the quick pace that Miami plays with, it's just boding to be too much for this Bowling Green squad. They just cannot get footing on the hill. So Miami finding victories not only in the hill time that they're getting, but in their ability to keep Bowling Green off this hill and having to earn every second of time. Now this P2 is really looking like it could be a money hill for them.
As Q-Pan was able to go on a 6 spree, it's going to be Brewski on a 6 spree of his own. This Redhawks squad are really starting to turn up, and you can see Q-Pan going to call in this glide bomb now. Unfortunately, teammate going to take him out, and he's able to take out his teammate with the glide bomb. That's just unfortunate communication errors coming out there. But hey, at the end of the day, the Redhawks, they're starting to look good right now as those guns are heating up. 50-point advantage coming out of them as we are on this P2. But right now, it's going to be the Falcons that are going to have the point. They're going to be having all this control. 15 seconds remaining. It looks like the squad of the Redhawks are fine with setting up for P3.
And just nitpicking play there, Bowling Green letting 5 to 10 seconds go of that P2 where they had control. Miami just keeping them guessing so much that they just are not able to get little bits of time. And on a map like Bacage where every second counts, seeing them have control of P2 and unable to secure time, just not going to bode well for them. Sure, the kill feed is starting to go their way. They're starting to get a little warm. Hayes going to need to warm up here as we need a more well-balanced attack from this Bowling Green squad, but Solar winning big ones in the back. This should work out for a good pinch here on this P3.
For sure. Solar going big. Whew, man, as that kill feed is looking all white right now, the Falcons starting to make this comeback. It used to be 50. It's down to 25. They are chipping away oh so slowly. As long as they're chipping, that's all that matters. Brando picking up 2. Brewski picking up 2. He gets taken out, though, unfortunately. Solar, he's going to be picking up the big one on a 3 spree before he gets shut down. So these players are just trading out this point as there's only 10 seconds remaining. Evade trying to go through, and he's going to be picking up a 3-piece in the kill feed. Looking for this 4th player now as we are going to be heading over to these new hills in Barn. And oh, Evade going to go massive. Evade going big right now. Add it on up. Finally going to get taken down by Brewski, who is 29 and 23 to his name. But the Falcons, they've just brought this one back. We got ourselves essentially a tie game.
We have ourselves a tie game here, and someone needed to answer the call in the slang department to try and respond to whatever Brewski was doing, and Evade goes on a tear on that P3. Now leading the lobby and slaying and moving around the map as fluid as water. Evading all things that are Miami players and lighting up the kill feed white as Bowling Green now a near 60-point swing, like you had said, down 50 points, now growing out to a near 20-point lead. They flipped this game on their head, and it's because their slaying has turned up. Right now, Miami, they just don't have an answer. If it's a game of runs, it's definitely in Bowling Green's favor. Tempo and pace sliding their direction.
Yeah, we've seen the Redhawks be able to flip it right back into their advantage, though. So the question is, are they going to do that right here, as they do have control of this hill for now? But glide bomb from Hayes going to come in, and that's going to pick up 2. That's going to be massive for the side of the Falcons. Q-Pan going to need to go huge right now, as he is 32 and 25, but he needs to pick it up as he started to slow down a little bit in the latter half of this map. He needs to pick it up for his squad for sure. As you can see, kills going to be coming in. Players trying to contest as there's 30 seconds remaining on this hill. The Redhawks players trying to make something happen, but no, it is going to be Hayes and company that are going to come through, get this scrap time for now, and it looks like nobody's going to be challenging this one. And that means that this squad and the Falcons, they're setting themselves up nicely as they have a 50-point lead.
A little lapse in decisiveness from Miami with 25 seconds left. They all just, it looked like they couldn't figure out whether or not they wanted to give this one last go, but doing the math, you can't let Bowling Green have any more time, as they can now close it out here on this hill. Granted, it is a P1, and the odds that they get enough time here to close this one out, not very likely with how well Miami have been playing, but ever since these last few hills have rolled around, it has been all Bowling Green State Falcons, as they're just trying to chip away. A couple seconds here, a couple seconds there, slay these players out, keep these left side spawns, and they should be able to send us to a game 5 here in Miami. They have to bounce back, and they have to answer in a big way.
Yeah, Miami would have to do a miraculous comeback for sure, as we're looking at this P1. But a lot of time on this P1 is still heading to the Falcons as they are slaying out. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, 101 Call of Duty, you don't shoot bodies until the game is over. I am sorry. I've said it a million times. It comes back to bite you every time, and it looks like it's coming back to bite them right now, as the Falcons only 5 seconds away, as they're going to be getting about 30 points on this P1. 5 seconds remaining. It's going to be all them, as that's going to be the final kill necessary, as they're shooting bodies right on back. Whew, we're going to a map 5. I said it, man. Something about me, Bravo, in these map 5s. I'm loving it.
I think this is my first map 5 that I've been a part of, so if it's the Rome curse, I'm here for it. I am so stoked the way this Bowling Green team was able to respond and come back and win what looked like a comfortable 3-1 win out of Miami. Whew. The squad in Bowling Green turns on its head again behind Evade, just leading the slaying. After that second set of hills turned up for the team, Solar also going unbelievably huge. 37 and 33 for Evade, 38 and 26 out of Solar. Wonderful effort from them combined to just be able to keep this one within striking distance and within reach. And if you're Miami, whew, that one's got to be weighing a little heavy on you, knowing you should have had that one tucked away, just unable to close it out at the end by a near 100-point margin. And now you're going to a game 5. Sure, you're confident it's S&D, but man, Bowling Green definitely have some wind in their sails now.
Yeah, extremely confident going into SD, as you said, but the thing is that it is going to be on Bocage, the exact same map that they kind of just got smoked on in Hardpoint at the back half of that one. That back half was all BGSU Falcons, and whew, man, a lot of people in the chat, they're hyping it up. They're saying, man, BGSU, let's go. I see you guys here in the chat rooting for him, pulling for him, and guess what? It looks like it's working because we're on a map 5 now, but this is the thing. The Falcons are going to have to beat the Redhawks on a mode that the Redhawks have not lost all season long, and I don't care about anything else in Call of Duty. Call of Duty, for as long as I remember, since back in COD 4, since I started competing, S&D wins championships, ladies and gentlemen. That is the name of the game. I don't care about anything else. Search and Destroy wins championships at the end of the day, and that's because when it comes down to these map 5s, that's what it's all about. So the question is, can the Falcons overthrow the Redhawks in Search and Destroy to give them their first Search and Destroy loss of the season to win this and pretty much secure themselves as a top 3 seed for this pool? I'm going to be excited to see if that happens. But hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to find out after this very short break. All right, you guys don't want to go anywhere, okay? Me and Cash will be giving you guys all the action from this map 5 when we get right back. And welcome back to the CCL Week 4 Day 1. I am Rome DMV, joined alongside Cash, and this one is going to map 5. If you're just tuning in, you tuned in at the perfect time.
We've had an electric series thus far. Bowling Green right now making the way happen for a reverse sweep against Miami, who, what we thought initially, came out and did the impossible, took a respawn off of an 11-3 Bowling Green team, and now backs against the wall. What feels like it's really coin tossy going into this game number 5. Bocage S&D is where we'll be headed, and sure, if you're Miami, you're undefeated in Search and Destroy, haven't dropped a map. I would even say haven't even dropped any mini rounds in Search and Destroy, but Bowling Green, they've seen and found themselves in a Game 5 situation. They've been able to win it before, so going into this, one of the better positions you can be in for Bowling Green if they weren't able to close out early, and they weren't.
Yeah, precisely. You got one side on the Falcons. They know what it's like to be in that map 5. And then you got the Redhawks, who their bread and butter is just straight up Search and Destroy. So it just happens to be a map 5 for them. So the question is, who's going to have more ice? I mean, if I'm looking at this one on paper, I got to be honest, it's got to go to the side of the Redhawks. They won the first Search and Destroy 6-1 on Berlin. So now coming into this map, which is going to be on Bocage. Got to be honest, Bocage, not saying it plays a lot like Berlin, but you essentially know exactly where the team's going to be going if you can play it right as a squad. You know, you lock down those certain angles. You try to call out where these players are going to be coming from because you know whatever they're going to be hitting, whether it's going to be a fast mid hit, a fast A hit, doesn't matter what it's going to be. It's going to be coming in very hot and very fast. So if you can read exactly where they're going to be pushing from, you will be able to find some nice advantages. But the way that this squad and the Redhawks were coming out on Berlin, I think they're going to be coming out showing a lot of aggression early on toward A.
I do agree with the points you made there, and like you said, on paper, you've got to look at this Miami squad just being undefeated alone and how they looked in that Berlin. But if we have a look at the series, which is up in front of us now, you can see as the series has progressed, that momentum shift, right? Momentum definitely in the favor of Miami these first 2 maps. Bowling Green come out and win an offense in round 5 to close out the control in really dominant fashion on Bocage, take the map forward hard point, and now they find themselves, again, warmed up, having an answer for the slaying that Miami was bringing, going into a game number 5, Search and Destroy. On paper, it looks like Miami, based on this momentum shift, Bowling Green might be coming into this one with just a little bit more gas. Can Miami respond now? Once again, they're being called to step up to the plate.
Oh, yeah, big time, big time. Let's go ahead and see this one. It is going to be good, ladies and gentlemen, as we load into Bocage. I see all you guys talking crap to each other in the chat, man. Let me go ahead and see who's really here for their squad. All right, if you're here for the Falcons, go ahead and drop an F in the chat. If you're here for the Redhawks, go ahead and drop an R. Who do you got winning this last one? I want to see who in the chat is really here supporting their squad. That's what I want to see. Ooh, a lot of F's in the chat off the rip. Okay, a lot of support, and we're going to be starting off hot and heavy as Brewski going to be picking up first blood in this first round.
Brewski and Q-Pan picking up where they left off, not only in the respawns, but in Search and Destroy. This is what was Bowling Green's kryptonite. They could not find an answer to the first bloods that Miami was able to open up with, and now 3 kills go by. Woo! Make that a flawless round from Miami. This is where Bowling Green plain and simply, you want to win the search and destroy, that has to be the #1 adjustment made. You've got to, if you can't win it, at least mitigate and neutralize that first blood exchange.
Yeah, it seemed like before I even got the predictions from everyone, that round was all signed, sealed, and delivered. Man, this squad in the Redhawks coming out hot on that defensive side. Q-Pan able to pick up the 3-piece, and now, or on that offensive side, excuse me, and now we get to see Solar on the offensive side with the Falcons going to need to push into the defense of the Redhawks. Will Q-Pan and company be building on these streaks, or will the Falcons be able to answer back? We're just going to have to find out right now, as it is going to be a push through upper middle, and I like this play coming out of Evade right now, but guess what? His teammates are going to be dropping as they are going to be falling to the hands of the Redhawks. 2v4 situation now. The question is, will Evade be able to pick one up? Yes, that is the answer, and now 3 players left. Can he find one? It looks like he's going to be getting some shots in. No, Panda is going to be dropping him. All that's going to be left is Hayes as he picks up one. Bottom low in mid, Grandma's, but he's going to be dropped. The Redhawks swarming like flies on defense. They go up 2-0.
Redhawks coming out red hot in search and destroy. You can't discount how dominant this team has been in search and destroy, and where they've needed to make improvements in respawns, they've done just that. First 2 rounds looking very comfortable on this S&D. Bowling Green cannot let this one get out of hand quickly. You cannot let them build up such lead that it's too late to come back. Keep it close, keep it competitive. You've got to answer back on a defense, and once again, it's just the way that the sling's going. They need to have an answer for these players.
Right now we are on with the man of the hour, Q-Pan, the man that shot bodies when he was up by 60 in the hard point, and then their team didn't get about 5 more points the entire game. So will he start shooting bodies here as his team is up 2-0? Hopefully not. Hopefully he has learned his lesson, but an interesting B-bomb plant is going to be coming in for the Redhawks. And Q-Pan going to be picking up that first blood, so he's going to be all streaked out before getting taken out in the back. But I mean, hey, the damage is done. He's got the streaks in his back pocket. Evade picking up a couple. This squad, all that's left is Brewski needing to clutch up the 1v3. He's got to get him off the bomb and pick up a couple kills. He is able to get one, but not able to dip out in time. So the Falcons, they're going to be picking up this big defuse, and this was a defensive round that they needed to win.
Must-win round out of Bowling Green, and they do just that. Able to win the battles that they need to in Grannies, and then that mid-map to give themselves presence to wrap back and take this bomb site. That's exactly to do. Evade sitting at 4-2, stepping up to the plate for this squad, answering the call of, we need someone to start taking these players out, and I'm going to try to do just that. Like you said, a much-needed defense they are able to take. Now back on offense, can they respond with one of their own? Q-Pan with streaks, kitted out. The damage has been done, like you said. How can they play around minimizing the effects of these?
I mean, I want to see if they're just going to be stacking on Grandma's, making sure nobody can come inside, and then just call in that streak for all the players outside, waiting for them to push in. But Apollo was able to pick up first blood on the offensive side onto Panda, and that's going to be absolutely massive. Apollo getting the second as well, but Apollo going to be running into the jaws of Q-Pan, 6-1 right now, as he does have this glide bomb in his back pocket. Going to be hopping out. Q-Pan picking up his second kill of the round, and he's going to be chased by another player, Hayes, and Hayes is going to be able to turn and burn him. Now we're left in a 1v1 Solar versus Rando. Solar's going to see him. Some shots coming in from both players. Solar's going to decide to dip out, reroute, replay this one as both players are going to be passing each other, one up top, one down below. Now, as you can see, the bomb is going to be down low right outside of Grandma's. What is Rando going to do? Is the bomb now in the hands of Solar? Will he decide to plant at A, or is he going to wrap back through tunnels and head on over to B? Looks like he's going to opt to do this wrap play. Now coming down low through Grandma's, and he just ran past him. I was about to say, you better turn and burn him. And yes, the Falcons going to be able to pick up the big win. Ooh, man, he had me nervous. He didn't see him there.
Tale of twos thus far. Miami come out, win 2 in a row. Bowling Green respond with just that, and so far this game 5 is off to a wonderful start. This one could very well come down to the wire. Bowling Green have answered back in the appropriate manner in a 1v1, able to clutch up and get it done. They get Q-Pan off the map, someone who's been problematic for them this entire series, and maybe starting there is where they're going to find success. Now on defense, can they get a round advantage?
That's going to be a massive question for sure. Q-Pan, he's looking to get into A very, very quickly. You can see him cooking a nade. It might be perfect timing onto Evade. No, Evade is going to evade that nade, ironically, and then he's going to come back at the perfect time, take out Q-Pan. Right now, BGSU doing exactly what they need to on this defensive round, but Brewski going to be going into bottom grandmas, picking up one massive trade. That's going to make this one a 3v3 situation now. Will this bomb start to go down? That is the question. As you can see, Panda, he's trying to play this roaming mid right now, making sure nobody can come in, playing with his teammate right now. Is he going to come in here and try and pick off Solar? That's going to be the massive question. No bomb is going to start to get planted yet. You can see this player number 2 in Rando. He saw the player number 6, Hayes, starting to flank. So now they're going to go ahead and put this bomb down. They understand that one player's trying to flank, the other players are going to be playing passive. So now it's all about locking down grandmas, and they're doing just that, as they're going to be able to take out 2, but the team kill did come in, so now it's a 1v2 situation for Hayes. Will he be able to pick off the player on bomb? Yes, and now he's got to find the last player, who is going to be in the swamp outside behind him. Will he know that he's going to come around through the door? That's going to be the question, and the answer is no, as the Redhawks are going to be shutting this one down, not letting this get out of hand for the Falcons, going up 3-2.
Just some timings and decisions of when to hop the bomb coming in from Hayes, but a great attempt at trying to clutch that one up there and take the round. Bowling Green doing well, and again, keeping this one close, right? Miami ended up taking that round, no problem. We got 2 of our own, and so it's only a 1-round advantage for Miami. It's just, you have to be able to keep answering back. Once again, just the importance of not letting Miami rip off more than a round or 2 at a time, and they've been able to respond thus far. If it's not QPan, that's a problem on the map. It's going to be Brewski, so there's always an answer needing to be made if you are Bowling Green. This offensive round, stagnant here in the mid-map. Either team just trying to wait out a mistake.
Has Evade right now trying to make the flank play up in mid. He is going to be able to take out Brewski, trading that first blood, which is massive for his squad. Now the question is Evade going to go big for his team as he's coming into bottom grandmas? Streak coming in from QPan, not able to connect onto anyone. 2v2 situation now. Apollo with the bomb in hand, left in a 1v2 now, as he is going to be able to plant the bomb. The question is, will he be able to skedaddle on out of there? And yes, he is. He's going to be stunned, so players are going to understand exactly where he is. Now the question is he going to be able to wrap back in time? The question is yes, as it looks like all these players now, ooh, they're playing coy, and they played that perfectly. But Apollo picking up 1. Can he skedaddle on out of here? He needs to play his life perfectly, and he's gonna be winning it. Shoot his body after. Why not? That was a clutch up for you. Big plays coming out. BGSU Falcons tying this one up 3-3.
The Falcons showing you why they were able to close this one out last time they were in a Game 5 situation. They are no strangers and not scared of being put in this situation. A team like Miami being put and pushed to the limits here as we are now headed into round number 7. And what was a Berlin search and destroy that after this round would have been over. Miami would have closed it out at 7 rounds, and now very much lots of games still ahead of us. Bowling Green doing everything they need to, from the clutches to playing tactically around the map. They're getting it done. They're negating the trade battles, and QPan going big for the squad this round. Could spell danger.
Yeah, QPan already picking up a 2-piece. Now they're going to start to put the bomb down at A. It's going to be a 1v3 situation. This time it is Hayes. Will he be able to do it, or are the squad and the Redhawks going to be going up 4-3? I'm going to be honest, this one is not looking so great. The way these players are stacked up, and they had every angle locked and loaded, and the Redhawks are going to go up 4-3, as that was a perfectly executed offensive round behind the backs of QPan and his 2-piece to open things up for his squad.
Though this is a close game, Miami not straying from what works for them, which is a quick offensive hit. Get in the positions you need to. Don't get lost in the sauce of just trying to outslay each other. Going back to what works well for them. And they found offensive success there. And like you said, up 4-3 here. Bowling Green. We've seen offenses, we've seen defenses. Bakaj gives us a bit of both. Now, Bowling Green, are they going to let Miami get to match point here in this game number 5? Or are they able to respond, send us to a round number 9?
That is going to be the question, as 3 players right now for the side of the Redhawks are going to be in grandmas right now, waiting for the Falcons to push on through. You can see the Falcons right now. They're trying to be methodical with this push, and that's going to work out nice for them as Evade picks up the first blood. He gets traded out. Brewski is going to pick up another one to give them a 3v2 advantage now. Will Solar and Hayes be able to clutch this one, as the Redhawks have found the advantage yet again?
They found the advantage in Brewski, causing problems in the back for these players, just trying to get information. Now they know the bomb is down right here. They know that player has to come and make a play on it, and they are ready for it. We are at match point, series point for Miami.
Whew.
Not only for them to take this series and to stop this reverse sweep from Bowling Green, but to remain undefeated in Search and Destroy and show why they deserve to have that top 2, top 3 spot. Bowling Green, it's got to be 3 straight if you want to make it happen. You've done it before. It's going to be nothing short of a miracle to make it happen here tonight.
They have showed that they have ice in their veins, clutching up a 5-5 in a previous series, but they've got 2 more rounds before they're going to be getting to that point. As the Redhawks, they're going to be pushing up toward A, extremely hot with confidence right now is Q-Pan. He's going to be opening up this window. Did miss that jump. Will he be going for it again? That is the big question. Looks like yes, that is the question. He's going to go right on back up. No. Deciding to drop on down instead. Man, I'm just waiting for Q-Pan to go in there and do what he does. We know this guy. He likes to get in here hot and heavy. He's pre-firing the doors, and he's going to turn and burn Apollo. Big play to make it a 3v3 situation. Now a 3v2 in favor of the Redhawks. Unfortunately, is going to be dropping to Evade. Now the only player left is going to be Panda. Needing to go big. He picks up 1, left in a 1v1. Evade versus Panda. And you can see both players, they are going to be rotating around right now. The bomb is going to be down outside of Grandma's. These players are rotating around. Will Panda be turned to his right to see him? No, he is going to be missing him. COD timing at its finest. And ladies and gentlemen, will Panda be able to lock this one down? That is the question, Panda. I don't know if he understands the situation. Evade in the back of the map, playing time. And I like this out of Evade. He's confident that guess what? If he plants A, he'll kill him. If he plants B, he'll kill him. No matter what, Panda, he's going to decide to wrap around, drop down low to B, and play his life for the big 1v1. And I think he just made the best decision possible, unless this is going to be Evade coming in at the last second, hot and heavy. He's going to let him get the plant off. Is he going to get around the corner? No, he's not. And that's going to be it. Evade coming up big for the Falcons, bringing this thing 1 round closer, 5-4.
My gosh, Evade, the patience and the composure to be able to win that 1v1, trust the retake ability, sat right at B, didn't get overconfident, and expose himself for maybe the chance for the bomb to be dropped and a gunfight to ensue sooner than needed. Player for Miami unable to get around the corner, and now, again, 5-4. Bowling Green still have to win 2 straight to be able to do this, but with Evade showing up the way he is tonight at 11-7, can we get someone else to step up in response as well? Can we get this to around 11 on offense? It's going to be a quick mid and A push. A push. Is Bowling Green going to be ready? Or is Miami going to slay him out there? Where does he 2-drop early?
That is massive, and that's going to be 3. Is it going to be 4? Evade going to need to evade all competition or take them out, but that's not going to be the case. They run into the jaws of the Redhawks, and the Redhawks are going to be shutting this one down. This is going all the way to round 10, map 5, but Miami stay undefeated in Search and Destroy on the year, showing that Search and Destroy wins championships for real.
Making a statement there. Bowling Green still pushing this team to the test, and Miami, they just have the ice. They may be unfamiliar with this Game 5 territory, but it doesn't matter because, as you had shed light on earlier, it's Search and Destroy. Don't care whether it's Game 2 or Game number 5. We're going to go in and take care of business. Brewski and Q-Pan twinning here on our stat sheet at 10-6. Rest of the squad playing well as well, stepping up in the big moments when they needed to. When that last round, Bowling Green tried to put the pacing on Miami. You're not going to put pacing on a team like Miami who likes to play up in your face. Straight up and down, that battle's going to go the way of the Redhawks every time. And unfortunately for Bowling Green, this battle in Ohio is going to end here tonight for them in a Game 5 fashion. But at least that head-to-head is a bit closer for them.
Oh, yeah, big time. So, hey, the home team in Miami, they are going to be pulling this one home. Shout out to the Redhawks for pulling this one out, man. This was a massive win for them because not only is this going to put them as 6-1, but guess what? In case the Falcons end up with the same record as them, they're going to be beating them out because of the tiebreaker scenario. So, I mean, honestly, the Falcons, they've set themselves up perfectly for the rest of this season, and I'm extremely excited to see how they're going to keep on playing this one out, especially with them not dropping a Search and Destroy yet all year long.
At the halfway point in the season, and to be able to say that you're undefeated in Search and Destroy with the teams that they've gone up against, definitely impressive. If you want to take down this Miami squad, you got to do your homework, and that starts with Search and Destroy. And if you're Bowling Green, got to tighten up on a few things, and you got to see that you can be bested in your respawns. Need to go back to the drawing board on a couple things there, but if you're Miami, teams looking dangerous. They're definitely making a case for this top 3 spot. They want to solidify it as early as they can.
Oh, yeah, big time. So salute to the Redhawks. I'm going to be extremely excited on what they have in the future coming up. But listen, folks, yes, this went to a Map 5 Round 10, but we are not done on the day. This is only the first series out of 3 that we've gotten. When I tell you all 3 have the potential to be exactly like the last one, let me tell you, you guys aren't going to be wanting to go anywhere. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break, and we'll be right back into our second series of the night, which is going to be University of Colorado Boulder going up against Northern Arizona University. You guys are going to want to stay tuned for that one. Be right back.